some way, somehow, it's not any better. Swept
Worse.
by the Colorado Rockies at home. Scored 1 run over 18 innings in the doubleheader. Struck out, I think, 18 times. Got 9 hits. The team absolutely stinks. Horrible. Team's dead. This team has no life whatsoever. We've got a lame duck manager. We've got a front office that seems like it's in disarray. We have players that are just, it feels like going through the motions, but also feel like they're lost. It's such a weird, bad, awful, terrible, no good time right now for the New York Mets. And we're going to talk about it. Before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the Mets'd podcast so you can follow along with all the misery that will continue on for the 2026 season. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. I don't even know where to start, James.
I mean, is there anything to talk about? Again, this will be more of an amorphous episode. We've been having a lot of these lately because it's hard to dive through and dissect these games. You have a doubleheader against the Rockies in your home stadium and you score 1 run. There's nothing to really say. Like, you suck. Like, that's kind of as blatant as this can be. Like, this team is a joke right now. They're a mess. It just seems like there's so many problems. It's hard to even pick ones to talk about.
Yeah, like, they're not even pitching poorly,
No,
which is
not
the
at all.
crazy part of this.
And to play good defense, mostly, besides a few guys.
Yeah, the defense is completely fine to the point where it's so not the issue. And I know we like to talk about, like, you know, guys out of position and stuff like that, and the Mets run prevention and all that. But maybe they were talking about offensive run prevention, because across the board, the team is worse offensively this year. Obviously, Juan Soto had been hurt for a minute. Francisco Lindor is hurt now. Those guys out of a lineup are going to hurt this team regardless. But the fact that the Mets' hard hit rate has dropped 5% this year from last year, it's one of the most in Major League Baseball. Their barrel rates dropped the most in Major League Baseball from year to year. This team has zero punch offensively. This team has some of the worst and most uncompetitive at-bats that I've seen from a team that had aspirations coming into the year to not just try and win the National League East, but hopefully make a push to go deep in the postseason. These are at-bats of a team that has given up, at-bats of a team that has no direction whatsoever, has no motivation to play this game. It's very hard to find any positives offensively besides Juan Soto keeps doing his thing.
Yeah, but even still, like, by the end of the second game, like, his OPS under 800. No one on this team is playing good baseball at all whatsoever. Bo Bichette, after the second game, is sitting on the bench, staring at the field for, 20, 30 minutes with Troy Snicker. Probably can't even believe what's going on, especially because of how poorly he specifically is playing, which is the state of this team and this horrible situation that everyone here is built together.
Something that you only see players do, like, usually after they get knocked out of the playoffs or lose the World Series, is like you watch the other team celebrate. But we've just done this like a couple times. Like, the vibes,
2 or 3.
The vibes are crazy bad to the point where, like, I don't even know if the Mets think that they can beat teams right now. The Rockies, again, there's so many things that can be true, and people are going to dissect every single thing that we say. So let's just get out in front of it. 100 things can be true, and they don't have any correlation to the other. The Rockies are not a good baseball team. The Mets are not a good baseball team. The Mets playing poorly. The players are not playing well. But also, Carlos Mendoza is not the guy to be the manager. And also, David Stearns has done a poor job and underperformed in the front office. While at the same time, Steve Cohen, who was supposed to be making things better here, hasn't been doing that. Those things can all be true.
And not that, I mean, again, you just got through you just did the whole podcast in what?
That's it.
12 seconds? Whole podcast over, 3-minute podcast. But every single thing is wrong right now. And again, these things shouldn't be wrong. That's why it's interesting conversations to have on Sunday, April 26th. We delayed this episode because we thought big news might actually come down tonight, but apparently
Can't believe he hasn't been fired yet.
We were waiting until 10. Apparently it's not going to happen. If it does happen, you guys might get a live reaction on this podcast, which would be pretty fun to wedge that in here. But I guess let's just go itemize list. Let's start with the players.
Yes, the players.
We should start with the players. The players are playing dog shit, horrendous baseball. To come out in that first game against Jose Quintana, load the bases, and that was the first inning, and load the base again the 8th inning. Both times with fewer than 1 out. Both times not score 1 run out of it. It's a joke. It's terrible. Luis Roberts been terrible. He had some big opportunities to drive in runs. Mark Vientos, I don't even know what's going through that guy's head when he's on a baseball field. I can't figure it out. He got that blue pit and he acted like the coolest guy in the world.
After he ran through the stop sign, by the way, and said that he did that on purpose because of his instincts, his instincts told him he was out by 40 feet.
And then later in this game, in the 6th inning, he tries to make a spinorama throw to second base for a double play. Nails. I think that was Troy Johnston. And in between his numbers, in the middle of his back, like we were playing pegging in the schoolyard. It was just, that inning was surreal. It's a shame for Nolan McLean again. Not that he pitched unbelievably well. He hit a wall again once he got to the 6th inning. He nibbled. I don't even think he nibbles. I think Nolan McLean's stuff is just so nasty that when he tries to pick off a corner. Sometimes he misses by 2 inches. Also, what a crazy challenge game in this was. The first inning of game one. But we should challenge the first pitch of the first inning. I was like, this is gonna be a weird inning. And then Brett Beatty trying to get that challenge off the bases loaded. Marcus Semien having a terrible at bat, getting overpowered by Jose Quintana when all you need to do is put a ball in play to score a run and give your team a lead they desperately need. For the only run of the game to come into Tyrone Taylor's solo home run, who also stung the ball in the second inning. Like, it's getting bad. Tommy Pham has been DFA'd because he took plate appearance that really looked like a player who was just the best days were behind him. But that's not a bad thing. Shout out Tommy Pham. He's had a great career, and I don't want him to like hurt me or say mean things to me. But
I mean, the best thing about Tommy Pham getting DFA'd is he is going to tell everybody about what has been going on in the Mets world.
You're right. That'll be great tomorrow because we're going to start to get articles, morsels coming out. Whenever something happens with Mendoza, we're going to get great stories out of that. But at least now with Tommy Pham, now there's going to be one player who's been exodized. Is that the word?
He's been cut.
Yeah, I was trying to use SAT word of the day there, but like
we haven't done SAT word of the day in a while.
It's been a few years, but just for one player to now be gone who was in this room, it just feels like, again, we're talking. This is the player section right now. We'll get to the other stuff. We'll get to organizational malfeasance in a second, but right now it's the player section. These players are not playing even close to good baseball. And we're going to get to the manager section in a little bit, but even when you're throwing out the let's try to hit lefty super platoon lineup in game one, where Robert's hitting third and Vientos is hitting fourth, which if you're ever drawing up line Mark Vientos, we'll get to the manager in a bit. We'll get there in a little bit, but to have the Pham, Tyrone Taylor, Vientos lineup, maybe that's if you're going to start Francisco Alvarez one game of the doubleheader, maybe that's the one to do it. And then you possibly, or unless you want to, like, you're saving him for Dollander. Again, I don't know what's going on. But again, this boils down to mostly the biggest problem with the Mets right now. It's not even close, bar none. These players are not even playing well, even remotely close to what they should be doing.
No, they're playing so insanely bad that it truly is shocking. Like, again, I'm pulling up the Mets roster right now on Fangraphs with the live stats because I think we have to talk out loud and just say like what the players are doing wise, right? So WRC Plus is the number that we use, but should we even get a little more basic and just give some OPSs?
Yeah, it'd be great.
OPSs. Team leader for the OPS right now, James, current day. Who is it?
It's definitely Juan Soto, like 795.
That's MJ Melendez. Maybe this isn't updated for today. I spent live stats full season.
Yeah, live stats full season means updated for today.
Okay. MJ Melendez, 879.
Okay, there you go. That's something. He hasn't been in the lineup in a week.
No, he hasn't been in the lineup in a week. Followed by him, it is Jared Young at 841. Then it's Young. Juan Soto at 831. Wow. Francisco Alvarez, 760. And then there is not another player within 30 points of a 700 OPS, including Francisco Lindor, Luis Robert. Mark Vientos has a 637 OPS. Tyrone Taylor jumped up to 8th ahead of guys like Brett Beatty, Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette, Ronnie Mauricio, Carson Bench, Jorge Polanco. Guys who play pretty much every day. Polanco's been hurt, but those guys are basically now in the lineup every single day. And Tyrone Taylor, who is someone that we thought had a chance to get cut at some point this year. In spring training, has the 8th best OPS, and it's a bad OPS at 614.
It's well below league average.
That's off a home run today, by the way. He played well today.
It's just, like Carlos Mendoza said after the game, he's like, I have never seen anything like this. I won't go that far, but there's a lot of solid, some of them, not all of them, but there's a good chunk of solid veteran players who've had very good MLB careers. I'm mainly talking about Bo Bichette right now. And it's like he can't even.
Oh, Bichette, am I right?
He can't even get close to buying a hit. Like Marcus Semien, we figured the offensive value wouldn't be tremendous. We were hoping for league average. This is, again, I'm not gonna say it's shocking because maybe that's like a step too far. But
I'll say it.
It's so fucking bad. How is it this bad?
Was it the Jose Quintana at bat where again he got overpowered by 89? Where it was 2-0. He got ahead in the count.
No, that was late in the game.
Okay, that was someone else.
That was ninth inning, no outs in ninth inning.
Yes.
Game one.
Okay. Yes.
I'm talking about the first inning, bases loaded, 1 out.
Oh yeah. Well, that was. I mean, he did get overpowered there too. It looked like he had no shot to hit Jose Quintana, throwing his absolute gas that he always does. But like even just from the Marcus Semien at bats right now, he's a guy who has to pull the baseball. Can't hit it the other way. It's an automatic out. Hits the ball on the ground too much probably. Whatever it does, he doesn't hit the ball well. So he has to see middle of the plate. Pitchers are not throwing it in the middle of the plate because we know that's all Marcus Semien can hit. 2-0 pitch to him, pitch on the outside corner, painted black, and he's swinging through it. He's hitting a foul ball, and then he gets blown by an up and away fastball. It's just like there's times where I'm like, dude, do you have anything left in the tank? He's playing fine defense. He's like 0 OAA right now. I think he's about league average, but like he got thrown out at second when he did get on base today. He's not doing anything well.
Also, the game on Friday night, what wound up being the biggest play of the game when the Mets brought the infield in with Manaea on the mound. Troy Johnson hits a hot shot just to Marcus Semien, just toward the second base of Marcus Semien, scoots under his glove. It would have been a tremendous play to make. Not the reason they lost the game, but they wound up rallying later on. You're like, ooh, if those 2 runs wouldn't have been on the board. But again, like, that's not the reason you lose. But that first inning at bat, I think, again, set the tone for this entire day on Sunday. Where the first pitch, I feel like he was trying to take one, draw a walk, make something happen. He gets a curve hung in his wheelhouse and just lets that one go. And then again, Jose Quintana starts finding it and working away. He got another mistake later on in that bat. He got 2 mistakes later in that bat. Fastball's middle in, one got leather high, kind of over the middle of the plate. And eventually he did get overpowered on a sinker or 2-seamer that was up and away from him. It's just like an opposite-handed sinker that kind of nailed the corners. Like, that just feels like a pitch he probably should be able to get a barrel on to some degree. Maybe it's about him being too obsessed with pulling the baseball right now. He doesn't even have an intention to even try to hit the ball the other way. Even in a 2-strike situation where all you need to do is hit a fly ball and you're getting a left-handed 2-seamer running away from you where you could just really flick a barrel on that guy and sky one to right, get your team on the board. It's really, really bad to watch this lineup play. It's not even close to fun baseball. It's some of the most unwatchable baseball in the whole league right now.
I once again will say I am only watching this team because we have to do this podcast. I was begging to be busy today. I was hoping that I had some sort of plan that I could have had where I didn't have to watch the New York Mets and I could have lied to you guys and said that I did and just read the box score. But I unfortunately watched all 18 innings of this fucking disgraceful team on the field. Like, even the guys who were doing things right at the beginning of the year, it's completely gone. And I do think maybe you can do a little better number research on this, James. But to me, it feels like teams are just like, oh, hit it. Hit the ball. I dare you. Because you can't. Like Luis Robert, his on-base percentage is absolutely plummeted from the beginning of the year.
His batting average, OPS, Robert's been terrible.
He's been horrible. He has a 233 on-base percentage over his last 15 games with a 273 slug. That's good for an OPS of right around 506, which is, again, pretty much unplayable, and he's not the only guy. What's crazy is that Carson Benj has been swinging the bat so much better, and it doesn't even matter because everybody else in this lineup can't put the ball even in play to a spot where there isn't fielders. That's the most fascinating thing to me. They aren't even lucky, the Mets. They can't even get lucky and get hits.
Not even get lucky and get hits. Our friend Daniel Murphy, what does he always say? Play the scoreboard. There's tons of opportunities with guys in scoring position and fewer than 2 outs. Happen again twice in that first game. And you look at and you runs out of it. Like, that's a good baseball team. That will never happen, ever. You have to be able to cash in half of those opportunities at least and get runs on the board. Like,
top to bottom, there's nobody that's playing acceptable enough baseball. I mean, again, Juan Soto's still got the good slash line. He's coming back. He's still awesome. And you know what? MJ Melendez, when he's put into the lineup, continues to hit the baseball pretty hard. I know he made the rare last out in back-to-back games. Game 1 against the Rockies, Game 2 against the Rockies. But, like, at the same time, we're talking about MJ Melendez, who wasn't even on this Major League roster to start the year. Well, shouldn't have been on this Major League roster to start the year. I guess Francisco Alvarez is playing okay, too. But, like, everybody else on this team is playing not even okay baseball. Bad baseball.
We love our dog, Bella, who's really just a couch cushion in our house.
And you would do anything for her. A quick message from today's sponsor, the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. If you've ever been frantically searching what to do for an issue with your pup, you are not alone. The program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier to get your pet the care they need. When you enroll in an ASPCA pet health insurance plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while you're doing something great for your pet. To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/foul. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/FOUL. Eligible restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independent American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
I mean, let's go through how many runs the Mets have scored per game this season.
Yeah, we did that earlier, and it sounded crazy. Let's do it again.
It's even worse. I'll go the whole way through. And these are shocking to hear when you look back. 11. Whoa.
Paul Skeens.
Whoa. 11 and a 10. And the 10 was what? The 10 was Tyler Mahle. We also hit Logan Webb. So I'll just go starting from the losing streak. 2, 1, 0, 6, 0, 0, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 3, 3, 10. 3, 1, 0.
Like, baseball's hard. It's not that hard.
Steve Gelbs had a tweet before that. In the 28 games the Mets have played this season, they've scored 2 or fewer runs 14 times.
Oh.
that makes it almost shocking to have as many wins as they do, if I'm going to be honest with you. The fact that they've snuck 9 wins out when they can't score more than 2 runs is kind of unbelievable. Almost a credit to the pitching staff on this team.
It's truly unfathomable how bad this team played. And before we do get talking about, I think, the next phases of this team, which will be management, front office, and ownership.
Oh, I got a little bit more.
Oh, you have a little bit more?
Yeah. We were talking about the hitting a little bit. I want to talk about Kodai Senga.
Oh. You're right. How could I forget about the pitching?
Kodai Senga, especially in this game, coming out
Sucks.
right away. He's like, I'm trying to throw as hard as I can, can't find the zone. Then you bring it down a little bit, you find the zone, ball gets pieced up. This is a guy that I won't even say the team was like super relying on him. He kind of got a rotation spot because of how good he looked in the spring. And he comes out for 2 starts, looks great in the season. All of a sudden, there has been injury that we've heard about. He hasn't really done any like whining like he does sometimes. Like, I don't even know how this guy could have gotten this much worse just inside of the month of April. And it's in terms of his command, in terms of his pitch quality right now, it's in terms of his velocity.
Is horrible too.
His body language has been bad. The whole team's body language is bad right now. Like, that was an all-time piss poor performance from Kodai Senga to start that second game. And I'll give one bright spot here. Shout out Carl Edwards Jr. Talking about settling things down, giving this team a chance to win that we knew they would never actually take advantage of because they can't hit whatsoever. Carl Edwards Jr., the fastball kind of had some life. The curveball had great drop on it. He was tunneling those pitches well off each other, mixing that changeup a little bit. I was like,
a little too much positivity right now.
I'm just saying, I want to give Carl Edwards Jr. his shine. And also, let's just transfer our transition to the next. Finally got to see the 18 bullpen in a close loss. First time all season, it felt like. Yeah.
And what do you know? They held it pretty well.
They held it pretty well. The Mendoza stuff has gotten to an insane spot right now. And
yeah.
I kind of, again, we can't say this is totally his fault. It's not even close to that.
No, of course it's not totally his fault. Also, to go on the Kodai Senga thing, him being asked about being sent down and him saying, like, people will make that decision is crazy. To not be like, no, I'm going to be better. Like, Kodai's dead. It's over for him. He's got nothing left in the tank. If the Mets didn't have this contract, he'd be lucky to pitch in Japan again.
I mean, we got a few years left of him.
That's crazy. He's a DFA candidate.
The other thing that's funny about this Mets team, again, because it feels like this is pretty fucking over. Like,
yeah, it feels pretty done.
You don't even really got trade chips.
No, not really. Like,
not really.
Someone going to take Jorge Polanco's contract? Don't think so.
You probably have to have a really good June for that to happen if we see him start to play again. But again, right now, this is not that section yet.
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Mendoza section right now.
Yeah, we're going to the Mendoza section. Shout out Huáscar Brazoban, by the way. Yes. Where would this team be without Huáscar Brazoban?
Even in this series, there's nothing I could super point to about Mendoza. Anything that really sticks out to you? Friday night feels like a lifetime ago. The Mets hit the ball really hard in that game and got bad luck too.
Was Friday night the opportunity when Tommy Pham and Tyrone Taylor took at bats against a right-handed pitcher late in the game when Benj and Melendez were both available off the bench? No. So and Mauricio?
Friday, if we forget, Friday wasn't Tommy Pham came in as a pinch runner for Francisco Alvarez. Yes. Tommy Pham was running because that was one of the sanctioned Luis Robert off days where you can't touch the field.
Yeah,
that was a can't touch the field off day for Robert.
Got to make sure we play down men. Got to make sure our 26-man roster is never available.
Couldn't touch the field. That was also a day where that was kind of what happens when a bad team, all this stuff is kind of snowballing, where you had some momentum after the 2 wins against the Twins. You come out and you're lacing the ball off of Michael Lorenzen. You take an early lead, and then for all of the hard hit baseballs you put up against everybody, and then have that rally against Jaden Hill late. It's like you cannot get the big hit. You can't find it. Multiple double plays, multiple line drive double plays. And then this is when things start to snowball and you cannot pull yourself out of it.
Yeah, Mendoza and management, I think, is a lot to talk about here too, because again, the hitting coaches, what did you do to these guys? What is going on? What have they told these hitters that have caused them to regress so massively? Because if I was going to do what I did all of last year, I got to do it right now. Troy Snicker and Jeff Albert, and I've seen from Cardinals fans too, and we've now seen a lot of Cardinals fans and Cardinals hitters take a huge step forward this year as soon as Jeff Albert's out of there.
No, he's been out of there a long time.
How long has he been out of there?
I think he's been the Mets org for like 3 years now.
Jeff Albert?
Yeah, I think he's been the Mets org for a minute.
Well, regardless, it's just what are they telling these guys? Because it's bad. It's wrong. Whatever their plan is right now, it's broken. Because Bo Bichette was a good hitter before he came here. Or Polanco was a good hitter before he came here. Brett Beatty had a career season last year. We're seeing guys like Marcus Simeon's gotten worse. It wasn't like it was good last year, but he's gotten worse. Guys are coming to this team and getting better and getting worse. How is that even possible?
It really does feel like there's such a crazy, it feels like no one inside that room's working together.
Doesn't feel like it. It feels like there is a big divide right now between what surely has to be the new guys and Carlos Mendoza, who's a walking dead.
And again, that's at fault when we get further up the ladder. If you keep moving
Yes.
through this with David Stearns and Steve Cohen, whereas if you were going to create a situation where you were going to get rid of Carlos Mendoza's guys and install him as still a manager of a team with all new coaching staff, that seems like he didn't really have a hand in picking. You have to find a way to give him a vote of confidence to actually breed some kind of, keep saying this horrible word, synergy with these guys. But to throw him in there, it's like you're just kind of throwing chum into the shark tank, where I'm sure there's a lot of divisiveness between these guys, because
Feels like people are waiting for him to lose his job, and who's
feels
going
like
to step up?
Feels like some people might only have taken some of these jobs because knew that guy was going to lose his job, and you knew you'd get to step up at some point and prove yourself. It really feels like a totally broken situation. Where at the same time, he does show a really just poor. Nothing happened in this series, but the decision making over and over again does kind of make us question what's going on here.
Yeah, every single chance that there is a decision to be made, it does feel like he's pressing the wrong button right now. I won't even say that. Like, I'm not even gonna get personal with Carlos Mendoza and be like, I don't think he knows what he's doing. But like, every decision that he seems to make is always the wrong one. And yes, the players have to play better. But again, something that we always talk about and something that you hear players talk about and everybody, the leadership, right? There's a leadership aspect that the management's supposed to do. There's a leadership aspect of the management is supposed to be able to get these guys ready to play every single day. And you cannot watch a team that spends as much money as the New York Mets with the quality of players that they were supposed to have coming into the season lose 15 of 17 games. Get swept by the Colorado Rockies at home. Again, the Rockies are actively not trying to win baseball games. It's not a team that
Don't tell them that.
That's fine. The players are trying. The organization is not actively trying to win baseball games too much. They're not spending. This can't happen. The team is not ready. It's not a question. And Mendoza got it after the game, and what is he going to say? Of course, like, I see people give him crap all the time for what he says after the game. I think he's getting a little bit more blunt now, and a little bit more. We're seeing a little more of the cracks now in Carlos
why
Mendoza.
not at this point?
Yeah, why not? But at the same time, this team is not ready. So Carlos Mendoza, you are the manager of this team. If your roster is not ready to play every single day, whether it is fair or not, it falls on your shoulders. And for those reasons alone, and the fact that it's a 15 game, they've lost 15 of 17, and they sucked last year, and they had the entire first half of 2024. There is almost no good here. Almost no good. And I don't think that for the organization to move forward, fuck it, for Carlos Mendoza to be able to enjoy his life again, give the guy a
smile.
Give him a break. He's miserable. He knows he's dead man walking. Let him be free. Get rid of him. Fire him.
And that's a black mark on the organization heading into the season, where you set up a system where there was a lack of consistency or a lack of clear direction among these coaches. But also, just to still the Mendoza section, we're getting to the management section in a
Yes,
second.
we'll get there in a second.
Talking about process, we got to call out some of the process Mendoza stuff, because that's what we
Yes.
like to do here. So in that first game against the Rockies and Jorge Quintana, you're throwing a heavy right-handed lineup because you want to dive into the platoon splits for a pitcher that at best was going to pitch half the game and pitch 5/9 of it because he pitched so well. So you get in a situation now in the eighth inning, there's a right-handed reliever in the game, one that you got on Friday night specifically in Jaden Hill, and you have your best rally of the whole game. You have the bases loaded with one out, and Luis Robert had a horrible plate appearance. He took 2 strikes looking to start, and then he had a very weak foul ball and a total mistake, 2-seamer, right in the middle of the plate. And then Vientos comes up. So you hit Vientos fourth in that prime of a spot in the lineup, specifically because there was a lefty on the mound. There's no longer a lefty on the mound. It would make a lot of sense in this situation to put one of the lefties on your bench up there to hit in that spot.
Wait, that's what you're supposed to do?
I feel like, to me, that would make sense because you use that process to put Vientos in that spot to begin the game. So why not now make the same decision, the same reaction to take him out of the game? It's not like you're leaving Mark Vientos in for defense. I mean, he already made the backbreaking error.
I mean, when I see Mark Vientos splits against righties, lefties, I too would be like, you know what? Maybe he can get a hit here because 227 average, 271 on base, 589 OPS. That is against right-handed pitching. I mean, sounds like he's due, right? Against lefties, at least he has a 759 OPS. I still don't think he's very good, but against lefties this year, he has hit. He hasn't hit righties. He cannot be on the field against right-handed pitching, especially when you had left-handed options. That's the craziest part of all this. And in that game, if I'm not mistaken, Bo Bichette was playing shortstop. Brett Beatty was at third.
Yes.
So even if you wanted to just pinch hit Ronnie Mauricio, even if you didn't want to use MJ Melendez for some reason, I don't know what they're waiting to use him for.
They did. They used him in the ninth inning
3-1,
with two outs and nobody on.
Yeah, when there was 3-1 game and it was like, oh, hit the 2-run home run with nobody on MJ. But
yeah.
to not go to Melendez there, or again, at the worst, Ronnie Mauricio, who we know much better against righties than he is lefties, you also have the ability to move Ronnie to third, Brett Beatty to first. You can get creative, or you just go MJ Melendez and put him at first base, which is a position he plays.
He hasn't played this year for the Mets, so maybe that was the issue. But again, so to see that process, you really want to get Mark Vientos going. This possibly
Gotta get him his ABs.
I really just, again, he hit fourth because of the situation that game where you're facing the left-handed pitcher.
Okay. Good
Fine,
OPS against
that's
lefties
fine.
this year. Fine.
No big deal on that one. But then to do it again, because in the next game, Mark Vientos doesn't start in the second game. Brett Beatty, because you're facing a right-handed pitcher, he's hitting fourth now. So clearly, against a right-handed pitcher, you don't have the same value in Mark Vientos in a pure at-bat that just exists in the universe. But in that spot specifically, the biggest spot of that game, a game that you get. It's weird to have a season that hangs in the balance in April where we have to dissect all of these managerial decisions, but that's where we are right now. So in a situation like that where you could get a little bit of positive value and you don't do it, you kind of have to call it into question.
He doesn't have his finger on the pulse. I think he was thinking, well, what if Melendez gets up in the ninth with the chance to tie the game, instead of being like, hey, let's try and take the lead right now. We have an opportunity. He was thinking ahead. Carlos Mendoza is the king. He's the next day manager. He's always worried about the next day. And I'll tell you right now, the next day for him, it might not exist.
Might not have one.
Might not have another day.
10:22. There's still nothing about it. So again,
Crazy.
If he's gets through the homestand.
If he's managing on Tuesday, I'm going to the game Tuesday. What am I going to do? What am I going to do watching this team in person?
You're going to the game on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm going to the game on Tuesday.
You're missing Knicks?
Oh, man. Yeah, I got to go. I want to go watch baseball.
I do too. I mean, I was going to say, maybe we can go to like Philly or Baltimore to watch baseball. Those aren't that great either right now.
No, they're playing terribly too. Everyone in the
Nationals?
Northeast except the Yankees. Yankee game I went to, the Angels smoked them.
Maybe you're the problem.
Maybe I'm the problem.
So is there anything else to say about Mendoza before we move on to section 3, which is organizational management?
Last thing I'll say about Carlos Mendoza, I do think it is relatively unfair that every single player on this team has played poorly. I do think it's relatively unfair to him that the situation he was given was impossible. They were waiting for him to make a mistake, or maybe they weren't because he still hasn't been fired. But they were putting him in a position where it's everybody against him right now.
Do you think they wanted him to step down as now we transition? Because it felt like when you set up this coaching staff in the season, it felt obvious that he was like barely a part of it.
It's all of it's so strange. And again, it will build more until the front office talk. All those things were working against Carlos Mendoza. At the end of the day, the manager is going to get fired before the guy in the front office, especially 100%. When the guy in the front office was promised that position for years by by Steve Cohen, and then brought in as soon as he was available. They went and got that guy. He's going to be the first to go. He deserves to be fired. He does not deserve to continue to be the manager of the New York Mets. At the same time, everybody around him in the organization failed him, and both those things can be true.
Oh, that's totally true. And again, it does stink for Carlos Mendoza, and it does seem like at the same time, this clubhouse still has his back.
Yes.
Juan Soto got in front of the media and was like, we think Carlos is doing a great job, and we still think David Stearns built a great team. Like, these guys are not the problem. We're the problem, which is why we wanted to structure this episode in this way, because I think everyone in these situations wants to hunt for, again, David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza. They're the problem. It's a lot of this about the players. A lot of this about the players. But
except Nolan McLean.
Except Nolan McLean, except Juan Soto, except Huascar Brazoban. I mean,
Austin Warren.
Carl Edwards Jr. Devin Williams actually looked nice on Sunday.
Looked
great.
That changeup was nasty.
It looked great. For some reason, it all looked great again. But it's a situation now where you look at this team and a few things can be true. One, a lot of the big ideas that we were really excited about, the way this Mets team was built by David Stearns this offseason, felt really good on paper. And there's a lot of people right now in the media who are talking about how horrible the team construction was, who wasn't saying anything about this for any of the last 2 months. So just have to clarify that now. The hindsight's always going to be 2020. A lot of the big acquisitions have sucked, have played horribly. If Bo Bichette was hitting to a league average level, this team actually might be 500 for how many opportunities he's been to the play-in squad. The one game we've actually won, had excitement for in this stretch, he got a big hit. It feels like, again, he's playing poorly. Guys have bad months. He looks so bad. I don't know how he's clawing his way out of this.
I don't think anybody on the planet, and we were legitimately staunch Bo Bichette doubters, like in terms of like before he came to the Mets. We were like, his profile's a little iffy, but at the end of the day, he did still put up numbers, and he hit last year in the postseason. He played in the big moments.
Hit in the postseason. He was unstoppable in the postseason on one leg.
And he has a 570 OPS 25 games into the season. That's unfathomable.
No, he's one, statistically speaking, he's one of the worst hitters in baseball right now. It's a factual statement. He's Bo Bichette's one of the worst hitters in baseball. But again, all that still being said, while some of the big ideas I still think were decently good big ideas, decently good process, and didn't hit, a lot of the other stuff that's happened with this team that we talk about a lot with David Stearns. This kind of similar to Mendoza, similar obsession with the next day, is an obsession of threading the needle.
Yeah.
Where if you knew that you were going to get Luis Robert to be on this team, again, if you knew that he was someone in your sight and you were worried about an injury concern, and then Bo Bichette looks like he also has a bum knee, and Jorge Polanco has two everything bad basically from the waist down right now. Like maybe
And
you
his
shouldn't
wrist.
and his wrist. Maybe you shouldn't have combined all the injury-prone players together. Maybe you shouldn't have been jumping the gun on Jorge Polanco months before a lot of the other offseason shook out to give him $40 million with the injury concerns. He also hasn't been here. He's always been a better hitter than this, but like the fit of all that should definitely be called to question right now.
Yeah, I think when Jorge Polanco being signing with the Mets is one of our most viewed videos on YouTube for Mets'd Up, I think that said a lot too of like everyone was like, wait, what? Like now? That's
Why?
the move? Like maybe, and this is something that we can criticize David Stearns for, he's not done in back-to-back off seasons. Maybe jumping the gun a little bit on players that don't need to be jumped. Like Jorge Polanco's market, I don't know if you lost him to the Mariners. Did we really particularly care? And it's the Frankie Montas conversation too, where it was like, we jumped the gun on Frankie Montas. Not that there was much better available from that offseason as we saw for that price point, but man, like the threading the needle is my biggest concern and biggest frustration with David Stearns, because again, coming into the season, unless you are part of the doom and gloom Mets fans, or honestly, not the sharpest baseball fan, everybody in baseball was talking about the Mets as a team that was supposed to be good. The projections loved the Mets. The projections had the Mets offense specifically as one of the highest rated offenses going into the 2026 season.
100%.
These are factual things that have nothing to do with pre-biases, us being a Mets fan, you hating the Mets, whatever it is. This was statistics were telling us this, and they were wrong. They were dead wrong. The problem is now that David Stearns is making some weirdo decisions, and something that we've talked about is we're not even playing with a full 26-man roster every single game. And this team needs a full 26-man roster.
Most games were not, and it feels like it's on purpose, especially when you look back to last week, those few games against the Cubs before Juan Soto was healthy. Why are we carrying a third catcher? And if we're carrying a third catcher, why is Francisco Alvarez not DHing? Like, you should be using the advantage.
I had an epiphany today, too. If you wanted to carry a third catcher for in case of emergency, the Mets already had one.
Yeah, MJ Melendez.
His name's MJ Melendez. So we
100%.
technically had
Four.
four catchers. I know MJ Melendez hasn't caught in years, but in a world where you ever need a third catcher, by the way, on the Major League roster, it just could have been MJ Melendez, which, by the way, it didn't happen. So we carried Hayden Sanger. Not fair to him, but he's just not a Major League Baseball player offensively. Carried him for a bunch of days. We had the whole Jorge Polanco not being able to play for a bunch of days. We had...
Right now, Juan Soto is on the roster, but he can't play in the field back-to-back days. He had to DH both games this doubleheader. Like, the whole thing is a very tough fit, and these were the criticisms
on the pitching side, we have relievers that can't go back-to-back days sometimes.
We have 6 long men. Like, these were the criticisms we had of David Stearns last year. I have not changed all this year. Another criticism that we had as the offseason ended, the one hole that we both really tried to poke in this team is the fact that the bullpen was a little bit shaky, and on top of the bullpen being shaky, we lacked gas.
Yes.
You need gas in Major League Baseball. Not having gas is a problem, and right now, this tweet from Mike Petriello a few days ago, I've just gotten the recent stats for, the New York Mets have the lowest rate of pitches that have been thrown at least 95 miles per hour of any bullpen in baseball.
And I do think that's all Huáscar Brazoban and then Luis Garcia, a couple of his pitches, right?
I guess, but Luis Garcia's already been cut, and he barely touched that anyway.
Like, when we go through this bullpen, again, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, we liked his players. Brooks Raley, great. Those are all guys that should be in this bullpen. Not an issue with that. What is Craig Kimbrell still doing on this team? What is he doing? Like, there are even guys in AAA that we can bring up and down that are doing better. And Dylan Ross is on his way back. He's been doing some rehab. I expect to consider him maybe, but like, Jonathan Pintaro has looked great in AAA to start the year. Why are we not giving him a look over Craig Kimbrell?
Every time Austin Warren gets into a game, I'm like, this guy actually looks like he has something.
He's got some juice. He does a little something. Like, I'm glad that he's up. Even Carl Edwards Jr. today got a look. Like, what is the reasoning that Craig Kimbrell is still on this roster?
The reason Craig Kimbrell's still on this roster is that when you have to get through 162 games, and get the Mets, I don't even know what's going to be happening once you get to like 110 of these, but you have to eat every inning you can. And when you're up by like 4 or 5 runs in the game, if that ever happens again, yeah, you want some kind of guy in there to just like walk through that. And we had that opportunity on Thursday night with Craig Kimbrell, and he promptly put us in position to blow the game. So it's like, why is this guy in the roster right now? Is a very fair question. But that's, again, there's this little bit of needle threading that always happens with David Stearns. This happens with a lot of these very, very, very forward-thinking front offices. And a lot of times we do like that process because it is bad business to just be cutting guys willy-nilly. It's bad business for, one, what you're doing in your terms of asset management with your team. It's bad business in terms of how other players in the league will view you. But again, like at some point, you have to put the best 26 players on the field every single day. And it feels like the Mets way too often are not doing that.
I think Tommy Pham had gotten on base one time as a New York Met in his time here.
He took that first play appearance against Ohtani. And I was like, he can't do this.
Yeah, and like, again, looking at the Mets 40-man roster, I'm not saying that this is the savior or that this changes anything, but just again, from the needle-throwing perspective, is like, Nick Morabito's playing well in AAA. He is a faster runner. They use Tommy Pham in pinch running. He is a better outfielder. They used Tommy Pham as defensive replacement before. How much worse of a hitter can he be than Tommy Pham right now when Tommy Pham's not hitting, not even touching baseballs? Nick Morabito playing WBC was ready to go. I would have liked to have seen him given a shot, and I feel like David Stearns' teams in the past have given opportunities to these young guys in these exact scenarios. So I don't know why we tried Tommy Pham.
It might be because Nick Morabito, maybe they just don't believe in him very much as a hitter.
But then defense at least.
Possibly that. But
if that's
right
what
now,
you're going to use Tommy Pham for.
Right now, this lineup, you need a hitter. Again, Tommy Pham has come in for defense and pitch run in the last few days, which is a problem.
And he can't hit.
The other thing that's scary about the roster construction is that, like today, like Tommy Pham is your starting left fielder against a left-handed pitcher trying to be a lefty masher. If you look at the guys in the Mets IL right now, there's not a right-handed hitting outfielder there either.
No.
Like this kind of something that wasn't really super handled. Again, Juan Soto's DH. You didn't expect him to be a DH. You expected that to be like some combination of Jorge Polanco or Mark Vientos when the year began, when we thought the lineup was deep and it was strong and all these other things that have turned out not to be true in any way, shape, or form. But there are, oddly enough, there's cracks on the edges of the roster, which is where we hope David Stearns would be the best at accumulating for this team. Where, again, all this top-down stuff about the Mets roster is coming out a lot right now in the media. That stuff, it feels more like noise and it feels like an alignment of the way things are going. John Harper's dropping more heat. I got a couple of John Harper tweets.
When you start talking about the top guys, it's like I would love to go back to a lot of these reporters and media heads in like tweets and takes when these moves originally happened. It's kind of like similarly when, you know, the Mets have done stuff in the past and then all of a sudden bad stuff has come out about those people. And it's like, oh, it's interesting because you said you knew all this info. And then all of a sudden when the news happened, you didn't. But the bad stuff came out. You said, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. A lot of people are playing the I told you so game. And it's like, I don't think you did because we just have proof.
And we'll give credit for this. The one I told you so, that has turned out to be very true so far. It's a month into the season, and we have years to go before I think we can really properly assess this, is the Brandon Nimmo, Marcus Semien swap.
100%, yes.
And that one's a fair one because, again, Marcus Semien looks really, really bad at the plate. He looks like he might be transitioning to utility infielder at some point. And Nimmo looks basically the same as he always has. Somehow, have you seen how Nimmo's arm strength so far this season?
It looks so much better.
I don't know how that happened. But
Marcus Semien looks like he would have a tough time putting it out at Sternberg right now, for those of you who play softball in Brooklyn.
And that's the one where it's like all the I told you so people, that's a very fair one.
Totally true.
Because, again, also for the I told you so people, I've said this every podcast, I'm going to keep saying it until it looks not to be true. It looks like Pete Alonso's on one of the worst contracts in baseball at this moment. And Edwin Diaz has a 9 ERA and he's on the injured list. So again,
who knows if he pitches again this year?
So for the I told you so people, those are two where we can't keep going back to. I just tweeted about Mark Vientos at first base today, and almost all of my replies were about Pete Alonso. Like, I didn't even mention that. No. I'm not talking about that. Also, Twitter's a cesspool right now. Like
it's bad.
I'm not someone who can like really lean into negative for the engagement. I just can't do it. And like I don't have the blue check mark, so I don't really care. I'm not getting money off my tweets anyway. I'm just on here for fun and to grow my own following and have some fun engagement with you guys. But it's so toxic right now, and like the tweets are so bad, and all people want to see is negative Mets stuff. It's a nice time to take a little break from that part of my life. But those, I think, are the fair criticisms of David Stearns. But I kind of even want to take this a little deeper right now.
Yeah, and also, shout out me. I'm part of the negative on Twitter right now. But it's just, it comes from a place. Moving. Yeah, I'm moving. I mean, it's every single tweet gets 2,000 likes. Why do you think, those who will not be said does this every single time it happens? But at the same time, like, that for me, it's not necessarily because of the production that it's getting on Twitter. I need to get it out.
It's
like
vent.
I can only tell you and my dad so many things, and my girlfriend. Like where it's like, I can't keep doing this. Like I need other people to see I'm mad.
And that's a problem right now. But again, to get a little deeper, just for a hot second, like we'd hope that this organization would find some stability in this new frontier. With a manager 2 years ago we thought was really good, with a lead executive that went came in, we're like, this should be one of the best of the game, and with Steve Cohen with the at bottomless wallets, beefing up things like player development, spending tons of money on the roster, like it all felt really good. But for some reason, it still feels like
The Wilpon Mets.
It doesn't even feel like that. It feels markedly different. It just feels like there's no connectivity in here. It feels like it's still internally poor communication, poor connection. And the fear I have right now with this team, and you guys let us know about this in the comments, because I do think that our listenership is a lot more of these kind of real, true blue blood Mets fans, and then also the animals that we get from Massapequa and Joe from Staten Island and all of them. But this is the kind of start to a season after an off season for some of those kinds of people that can actually really deteriorate a fan base.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it last episode, being in the ballpark on Wednesday, the day the losing streak ended, like when the game was still not going that great, watching Mark Fields run through the stop sign, watching Francisco Lindor get injured, there's a bit of a surreal fan experience in Citi Field right now if you are a baseball fan, like a true baseball fan. Like our girl Diana, she tweeted out that the Mets were about to get swept by the Rockies and Mr. Mets doing back handsprings on the dugout, where it's like, yeah, that's not the person in the Mr. Mets suit's fault. Like that, it's
Or
just
the Queen's crew.
nothing whatsoever about those people, but it just seems like the whole thing feels detached from reality.
Oh, it feels like a circus. Let's just say what it is. The New York Mets are a circus, which is something that should not, didn't think would, but is happening right now. And again, everyone's responsible. I've put that out on tweets that it's not just Carlos Mendoza, it's not just the players, it's David Stearns, it's Steve Cohen, it's everybody that's involved right now. There is no leadership anywhere, especially, again, like not to take shots at our owner, because again, the Wilpons were so bad, but like even like tweeting out the thing about the free tickets and then that
The green shoots.
Yeah, the green shoots, and that they're not getting claimed, or like just hang with us and trust like what's going on. It's becoming a bit of a sideshow and stuff that has made the Mets a complete and utter joke in the past, which is feeling like Groundhog's Day again. Now we're a joke, and we're even more of a joke because we spend more money than almost anybody in baseball to be this bad, which is the icing on top is that they're spending more money than basically every team except the Dodgers, I believe, right? Dodgers.
I think right now we have a high payroll.
Oh,
than the
cool.
Dodgers.
So we spend more money than every team in Major League Baseball. We can't win baseball games. We don't win baseball games. We miss the playoffs. We don't make the playoffs. We have a lame duck manager. We have disconnection inside the organization. We have fucking the best fan experience in the world. We got all these egg rolls and shit across the field. We got great food, number one food in baseball. Not the number one team. We do have the number one food in all of baseball, though. It feels like at times that this is very much a circus, and it is very, very tough. And this is stuff that you see from fan bases like. It's not the same, but the Jets, the Browns, you think of like these historically bad fan bases and teams, and it's starting to feel like it's happening again.
And it just feels like there's not a path out right now.
I don't know what it is. I can't find it.
And then at the same time, all the other stuff that really eats away at fans, the parking getting more expensive, the parking lot shrinking, getting smaller so we can build the rest of the circus. That'll come in a few years now. The fact that season tickets got more expensive, and even with season tickets, you had less opportunity to buy playoff tickets. Not that we're ever getting back to the playoffs, but like you had.
I got bamboozled. I thought I clicked opted out. When I saw that money come out of my bank, I was devastated. And I am going to probably call my ticket rep tomorrow. And I'm going to make sure that my season tickets are canceled for 2027. I don't particularly care how good it goes the rest of the year. I cannot just write a check for season tickets next year. It's an absolute waste of money. I don't want to go to games. It's a not fun team to watch. It's a bad product.
And then again, even cultivating the environment where we have this situation with this coaching staff, which from the outside, it seems so unbelievably toxic.
It seems like the only place that seems more toxic is Boston Red Sox.
But literally, and that's also the other fear of this, where who knows if Mendoza winds up getting fired by the time you guys listen to this, because we're almost to 11 p.m. It feels like it's probably not going to happen tonight unless we Jerry Manuel this thing and do it in the middle of the night.
Which would also be really toxic.
It would be really bizarre if that happened too. Right now, they're probably been arguing about who's even going to be the manager. Just keep Mendoza an extra week because you don't know who it's going to be between Andy Green or Kai Correa or whoever else it could be. It's not going to be Alex Cora.
It's not going to be Carlos Beltran either.
It's not going to be Carlos Beltran. It's not going to be Alex Cora. It's not going to be either.
Could you imagine if the Mets had a manager who they retired his number during the season as a player, and he also missed a game because he got inducted into the Hall of Fame?
and he actually already was your manager, but then you actually fired him before he managed the game because he was embroiled in one of the worst modern baseball cheating scandals.
By the way, Alex Cora, heavily involved in two major cheating scandals, by the way, too. He's very involved with the Astros, and the Red Sox had their own with the watches.
Did he serve a suspension for that one with the Red Sox?
Yeah, he did a little bit.
Yeah. So again, I will talk about that, but just to set up the situation with this coaching staff this year, even after a situation where we know that, and we talked about this a lot off air this offseason. I'm just gonna say it now. We're 42 minutes.
Yeah,
in,
why
who the fuck
not?
cares? The fact that it's pretty clear this Mets team doesn't have a stellar reputation around the league, where you didn't really get the first choice among your manager. You didn't really seem to get the first choice in any of your positional coaches. You seem to have to really go through and just rely on connections and giving people jobs that they hadn't been interviewed for before, so they would step up. And not that the Mets had bad coaches. I still think a lot of this coaching staff probably has potential to be decent guys.
I'm scared
I really
of the hitting coaches. I'm scared.
I'm scared too, but really feels like to me there's a communication issue with the blending together of these guys.
Especially everyone on the Astros is hitting right now.
We were begging for just any kind of semblance of
Organization.
Yes, organization of organization. And it seems like we have not gotten that. It feels like, especially inside the industry, this team has an image that we thought would go away. It's kind of the image of old, but it's been like rejuvenated to something kind of new and like gruesome.
No, it's a much more fucked up version now. It's like you're incompetent and you have all the money in the world. So which basically just makes you stupid at that point. If you have all the money in the world and you can't fix your problems, you're just an idiot.
And the best part about this by far is that if it does happen, whether it be this week, tomorrow, next week, week after, even in the offseason, the articles that we're going to wind up getting
we're going to get crazy
about
shit.
The last 12 months of the Mets, between whatever happened with Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo last year, whatever was going on with Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil over the last few years, whatever's gone on with Francisco Lindor in general, like every single thing about...
Seems like him and Soto aren't a problem. Those pictures...
seems like they're totally fine.
Seems like they're hanging out. They're just not best friends.
Like, it feels like we're going to learn so much once some of these guys start losing jobs, and then we're going to learn some crazy shit.
I retweeted someone on Twitter called Tone Jr. 42. No idea who this guy is, but he replied to my tweet about the Mets being a catastrophe. And he said, imagine an employee at Steve Cohen's trading company being this incompetent. He would fire them in a blink of an eye. Should be no different here. I think there's some truth to that. I think that there's...
But I think the opposite of that is what should be true. And then
Why?
This is something we've talked about for years because...
But I disagree with you vehemently on this one.
No, it's because Steve Cohen shouldn't be involved in baseball operations.
Oh, okay. That's different. Oh, I agree with you on that. I thought you were going to talk about like the reputation of like the Mets for fire managers. I'm like, this is way worse. This is why you fire the guy when he's done.
No, I kind of alluded to that before. I do think that that's something that is definitely relatively true, but also a little overblown. I think the Mets sometimes don't get, and again, it's happened this offseason. I don't think the Mets got their top guy for a lot of these coaching positions.
Yes.
I also think when push comes to shove, you still get relative talent because there's so few of these jobs available.
Of course, yeah.
But like again, there's rumors that Carlos Mendoza talks to Steve Cohen about stuff. Like it could that situation. I think some managers would be like, "What?" And also, but again, we're not the Red Sox right now. We don't have a mutiny in our clubhouse. I don't even think Carlos Mendoza has enough. I think he has a lot of support. I think he still has the guy's loyalty for sure. I don't think he has mutiny support.
I don't think he has mutiny support. I don't know if he's got mutiny energy. He looks he looks like he's ready to go home. He looks like he's ready to be done with this. And
this sucks. This has to suck for him more than anybody.
This has got to be such a horrible feeling for him. And from a personal level, I feel bad, but as well, go to any job and you don't do it well, you usually don't get to keep it. And Carlos Mendoza, whether it is 100% the player's fault or not, the wins and losses at the end of the year is what the manager gets critiqued on, and they're not. It's not good. He is a sub 500 manager.
By a good bit. And also, like, could we even give him 2024 credit to him? Like, it was kind of the divine intervention of all good living things.
It changed when we invited the fat fucking Grimace to the field. Jose Iglesias dropped a pop song, and JD Martinez became the hitting coach. Like,
theoretically,
it took miracles for that team. Miracles. They were down to their final outs. That team had no business being in the postseason. Francisco Lindor destroyed his back, hit a home run, a miracle home run against the Braves. So I can't even believe it.
No, right? Just this. Again, someone who's going to write the book about this? You think it's going to be Sam? You think it'll be Tacoma? Like, someone's going to write a crazy book. Harper might still have the inside track.
I think it's going to be Tacoma only because he put out that Instagram reel at the end of the game today talking about how this isn't Carlos Mendoza's fault. It is, but like, it's everyone's fault. Again, kind of back to what I said at the beginning. All these things can be true. Carlos Mendoza should be fired as a manager. The players should be playing better, but he's not doing a good job. David Stearns not doing a good job, and Steve Cohen, to some aspect, is not doing a good job. So all those things can be true. At the end of the day, all you guys know is that this team fucking sucks, and they are unenjoyable to watch.
Sucks. Thank you guys for sticking with us through this. We're getting a lot of YouTube comments that like I like watching you guys more than I like watching the Mets. It's almost like a backhand compliment because how bad it is to watch the Mets right now. But I don't even have the heart to preview the National Series. I think the Nationals. This is the only way I'll preview it. You watch these Nationals team play, They love playing baseball.
Every other team loves playing baseball except the Mets.
Mets look like they have no joy for this game whatsoever. The Mets look like it's a whole team of like the fifth graders who are still playing because the dad really wants them to play, and they just are hoping to get a rain out.
I don't even know what to do with this team. Truthfully, it's pretty disgraceful to Mets fans to see this happening.
And this will be the true rubber meets the road of this Mets season, this Mets lineup, because two of the pitchers we're facing this National Series are Zach Littell and Miles Michaelis,
Who are, I think, statistically the two worst pitchers in baseball right now, besides Kodai Senga.
I think two of the three. Senga's ERA is 9 right now, so I think it's close to that.
Tough to beat that.
I think Littell might be like 11 or something.
Jeez, that's your guy, Zach Littell.
I mean, I thought he would need some innings, but clearly the league was like, no, he's not anymore.
Oh, well, they will go 6 scoreless.
Littell's 7.5, so Kodai Senga's a worse ERA than Zach Littell. Let's see Miles Michaelis. Miles Michaelis has the Lizard King back again. How does this guy face the Mets like twice a year still? 8.49. So Kodai Senga was a worse ERA than Zach Littell and Miles Michaelis.
Fuck me, he's so bad.
Oh no, I don't think his ERA is 9 this season. I think it's 9 over the last 4 starts. I think
it's 9 on the season.
That seeped into my subconscious.
No, I think it's 9 on the season, James.
Oh, it actually is 9 in the season. Oh my God.
Will Salmon did just put out an article. I'm going to read a little bit before we wrap it up here. Just see the mood at Citi Field is one of exasperation in the stands, in the clubhouse, in the media room, where Carlos Mendoza told multiple reporters many times on Sunday it's hard to explain. See, that's also like a bad answer from him. It's hard to explain. I don't think that's a good enough answer. That's because it just gets worse. Mets reached a new low point. I'm trying to see if there's any good little tidbits here I can skim through.
I think I found one.
What do you got?
It's from Salmon comparing him and Cora, which I think is crazy. Mendoza does not have Cora's resume. The situations are different, but they might end the same way. Before Sunday, the feeling within the team was that Mendoza deserved more time. It's unknown if anything has changed. Is there a point when Steve Cohen and President Baseball Operations David Stearns simply have no other choice? The only thing I'm worried about is getting the guys going, Mendoza said. My job is to find a way to get those guys out of the funk. Mendoza would not say whether he has received any assurances from the Mets higher-ups. The problem means he hasn't. Probably went into the season without any of them, it seems like.
It seems like that.
He also appears to be in lockstep with the front office. He's also Stearns' handpicked guy. Kind of.
Ish.
He was like the third handpicked guy.
Yeah, like he's handpicked where it's like you go to the bar at the end of the night and you talk to every other girl, and then it's 2 a.m. You're like, all right, well, you're still here.
It's kind of thing where like you start talking to someone. Actually, I like your personality.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I like his personality.
That's kind of probably how it was. Oh man, this is brutal.
Yeah, he's an Aaron Boone disciple. We should have known since then.
Aaron Boone wouldn't even let Ben Rice hit against a lefty. We let Mark Vientos get the biggest at bat of a game against a righty.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 2 stupids don't make you smart. So,
this is painful. This is so painful. But again, if something happens on Monday with Mendoza,
firing him on an off day is weird, right?
You'd probably do it before the off day.
I just got a notification. Oh, it's not from Twitter. That's tough. Really, I'm really waiting to see that. But until then.
Frankie.
Oh, you got Frankie?
I think Frankie's going to come with some craziness.
I hope he does. I don't know. I feel bad for Frankie. Frankie, we need bolognese, man. I think that's the only thing we can ask for at this point.
Especially someone like Frankie. It's like, Frankie's so full of joy.
He is full of joy. I hate to see Frankie sad.
No, here comes Frankie Peppers.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing?
How you doing?
How was your weekend, boys? This weekend I got to see a friend who I haven't seen in a while, and then
Sorry.
What'd you do?
I was going to turn off the low bat so we got to all the way through.
Today I mowed my grass, which was nice. The weeds were getting a little too much. So, I cut it down to a nice level. Had really nice dinner. Had some Middle Eastern style beef kebabs and some hummus. It was quite good. I bought some records. This is not too bad. Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to talk about baseball. That's right. Well, I forgot that baseball happened, just like the Mets forgot that baseball happened today for 18 innings, scoring 1 run. I'm just going to add another to the turbo mega dog shit counter that I'm certain you boys have going on. As of 7:40 p.m. when I'm leaving this message, Carlos Mendoza is still the manager. That remains to be seen if that's going to still be the case. I give him another 40 minutes. 8:20 p.m. You'll see the message come through. Anyway, boys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you have something else to do. I really hope you have something else to do. And I'm gonna go sit in silence for a little bit. Take care, boys.
I'm gonna leave you with one question. Right? I got 2 questions.
2 questions.
2 questions. One, what felt What's like been like the most recent low point that feels similar to this? Because this is
For
worse.
the Mets?
Yeah, like this is such a weird feeling that we haven't had in quite some time. This is like Mickey Callaway era type stuff.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking about the beginning of the 2019 season with how bad they came out of the gate. That was a rough one.
Oh yeah,
They came out of the gate terrible, and then
was
they
that
got
Sandy
red hot.
Sandy complete game early on in the season where the Mets kept just losing and losing and losing.
Like with the way Robinson Cano was like one of the worst players in baseball for those first 6 weeks. It felt really horrific. But then also, which I don't know if there should be a fear for this team, but I keep having this in the back of my mind. Like this team actually gets hot in July when it doesn't matter. They basically do what the Orioles did last year, where you played a 90 win pace for 3 months and you still are under 500 because of how deep of a hole you dug yourself. Pirates did that last year too.
Yeah,
But like
A's too.
I don't know, truthfully, like when 2017 started going and you were like, oh shit, it's really over.
When you were like, damn,
This team
like,
sucks.
It's Neil Walker and Asdrubal Cabrera every day.
Yeah, like this team is really, really bad. But again, the players in this team are nowhere close to the caliber of the players on this
No,
team.
they're
It's like,
so
oh,
much
this-
better. That's why it's shocking. And then, second one, he will be fired. There's a 0% chance he makes it through the season. I'll put my stamp on that. If he does, I'll give away $100 to somebody on the other podcast. Promise
That's
you that.
it. Come on,
I'll,
beef it up.
I'll give you a signed Francisco Lindor jersey.
Okay, yeah,
Signed Francisco Lindor jersey if Carlos Mendoza keeps his job the entire season. What day does he get fired? When's his? Has he managed his last game? If not, when is his last game?
I feel like he might have. In which case, we'll be talking to you guys soon. But if he hasn't, it would be after this coming road trip, and he would be
After
gone.
the road trip, you think that he wouldn't be gone at the end of the homestand? Let him stay home. You're gonna make him travel to then fire him?
You start the road. You start the road trip with the new manager.
Yeah, get on the plane like Kai Correa, loosen the guys up. I don't know, Andy Green.
Andy Green, maybe. So then that would be. So you'd think it would be after Thursday, April 30th. I'll tell you this. I think right now, if you were going to do it, hell of a moment.
Right now,
Hell of a moment to
Hell
do
of a
it.
moment. Steal the headlines.
10:52 p.m. If not, I feel like it could be like May 11th.
okay, all right.
Because Alex Cora getting fired this early in the season, a complete aberration. Very rare for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a little bit of a mutiny going on. So
Yeah, who knows? I mean, again,
I'd
I
kill
don't
for
think,
a mutiny.
At least I'll say this. At least if this does happen, David Stearns has a playbook how not to treat the players in the case of a coach firing.
Just talk to him.
Just say anything.
Say, what are you guys thinking? What are you feeling?
I'm saying, big, hey guys, let's have an open chat. Here.
Steve
Talk
Cohen
it through.
too. Cohen has to talk to the media if that happens as well, because John Henry dodging the media, dead silent.
John Henry, what a jerk
That
that
guy
guy is.
sucks. That guy's
I
a
mean,
loser.
Just make Sam Kennedy just eat all the shit for him. That
Yeah.
guy seems actually like a decent dude.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying. Greg
Yeah, he's
Breslow,
good.
bad.
Bad. Craig Breslow, what a robot. The fact that he fired all of his coaches but kept his pitching guys
Is
unreal.
Crazy douchebag energy.
No.
That's what people thinks David Stearns is Craig Breslow.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
That's the last thing I'll say. I'll leave you guys with that.
I think we've been fair. If you guys didn't think we were fair, let us know in the comments. Everything
Yeah.
is going on because we're
exhausted.
We're hanging out a lot the next few months.
We are
Whatever happens to
contractually
this team,
obligated to make episodes to talk about this team.
we're gonna be here with you guys. So whatever you guys want to hear, let us know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, maybe this turns into a trivia channel if it gets that bad. I don't know.
Honestly, that video we just did for the windup, we should have done this.
What, the draft?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's just, again, a little peek behind the curtain. You're an hour in. Me and James did a video on the wind-up. Go subscribe to that. Link in the description if you want to hear about anything besides the New York Mets. But a video we just recorded, we took the New York Mets total payroll, built a team, randomly selecting teams. I tell you, it's really hard to build a team for that much money and have them be, I'll say this, to have them not be the best team in baseball.
It's even hard to build a team for that much money, period, if you're just
Yeah.
fantasy drafting. It's honestly impossible.
We couldn't do it. We had tens of millions of dollars left over, and we got to pick and choose players from teams that we wanted.
For every single one.
It is truly shocking how bad this roster is for how much money they've spent.
And just how bad they're playing. But like, that's it for now.
That's it, guys. If Carlos Mendoza gets fired, when he gets fired, you will be hearing from us immediately. So keep an eye out for that because it's coming. Besides that, make sure you subscribe to Mets'd. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draft Nick Mark. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.